This is the Warrior Built broadcast of Davidson women's basketball. I'm Jada Gainey alongside Tim Johnson. Tim, this might be a great matchup tonight. What are your thoughts on the McGill versus Davidson game?
I think this game is going to be physical just like the last game we covered. Uh, Davison's definitely going to have to play hard inside because, as we've seen already tonight, uh, McGill is definitely sound inside the paint.
Oh, absolutely. Um, Tonight, guys, we watched a little bit of the JV game, and the JV game was unfortunately a blowout for the Davidson Warriors, but McGill came out there ready to play. I think every team in McGill's athletic history has been coached perfectly. This JV team came out. If they didn't make the layup, they missed it, got the rebound, and put it back up again. The best way to describe it was good technical basketball, Tim.
Yeah, this team is definitely technically sound inside. The first drill, as soon as we see them come out of the locker room, the first drill they're doing is layups. And I'm not talking about running from half court to the basket. I'm talking about in the paint. So that kind of tells us that that's where their home is going to be tonight.
Exactly. We know the Davidson Warriors team is physical, and fortunately for Davidson Warriors, this team kind of looks like the complete opposite. This team looks more along the lines of a technical team than a physical team. Davidson's got to get rebounds to win this game tonight, make those fast break points, and perfectly enough, get those steals at half court.
I think personally they're going to have to ride that Kyla Thomas wave of getting her the ball on the outside and allowing her to find her shot, because once she finds her shot, it's on from that point on.
Oh, 100%, Tim. And speaking of Kyla Thomas, a senior leader, tonight we see Crystal Hawthorne, number one, get back into the rotation after hurting her left knee. Tim, do you know what the injury was on that?
Uh, I'm not sure, but I know it was pretty serious if it held her out for a bunch of games.
Especially her. The senior leadership on this team is admirable. We see how many, 5 seniors and 3 freshmen. The senior to freshman ratio is not that good, 5 to 3, Tim. But we do see this freshman step up. Hopefully, we see the rebirth of Kelsey Thompson, as we didn't see her much in the Faith game, but we did see Rashawn Spencer and Faith Williams did step up, especially in the late game on fast break layups and steals.
Yeah, Williams and Spencer are definitely great in transition. Good enough to get the job done for the Warriors and get this dub.
Another big name tonight is Hars, Tim. I know we talked about her a lot last game with her size, but especially against this shorter, less physical McGill team, I do believe it's going to be a good game tonight for her.
Yeah, if she can get rebounds and get second chance points for the Warriors, there's nothing that should stop this Warriors team. I don't think there's anybody maybe within a foot of her.
I think that's a fair estimate, Tim. I think their center might have, 2 inches on their point guard? It's no height. There's a very little height difference, as you will tell in a second, as we do prepare for tip-off. Tim, we talk about freshmen all the time, and McGill has a freshman on their team. We do see Lindsey Cox, number 11. She's not starting tonight. She's on the bench, which is, it's fine. She's a freshman. She's here to learn experience and get better. As we do away tip-off. Tip-off goes to Davidson Warriors to Kyla Thomas as we... you can already tell this McGill team is coming out to play defense tonight.
It's an early turnover for the Warriors, but a great block.
That was Kelsey Thompson again, the freshman. That's a key block in that situation.
I think that was.
Pardon me. That was
Lauren
Prayer. My bad. Kelsey Thompson's not actually on the floor right now, which is kind of surprising for this team. That's banked it in for Mixon.
McGill seems to come out in the full court press.
And this Davidson kind of looks shaky tonight. This full court press is definitely working for McGill. To Ellis. To Thomas. Back to Ellis. It looks like they're playing a 2-3 zone, which is, for faster players, it is definitely key, especially against this Davidson physical offense.
Definitely. I think if Davidson can capitalize on these perimeter looks that they can get, this game should come easy, because the 2-3 defense doesn't really allow much inside. And if it is, it's highly contested.
Turnover by Davidson, and I agree, Tim. We do see kind of timidness in high school basketball that we don't really see in other sports or other levels of basketball, not other sports. We see it in high school sports everywhere. But, maybe that deep three-pointer, people don't take it, but if you think you can make it, then, go ahead. Thompson with the I think it was an 8-second violation on McGill Toolen. That's key. They are already showing up ready to play physical basketball, especially on that full court press.
Definitely, that's what it's going to take to win this game.
You know, we did see a slow start last Friday night from Davidson, especially against Faith. Thompson for 3.
Shots off.
Hard's the rebound. Oh.
Contested three-pointer, just short.
But see, it's not even that bad of a look because it created a foul. Ultimately, it creates points. Even missing a three-pointer like that, you know, you bring out 2 people to come guard you. That leaves the paint open, kind of. You know, Ellis with the rebound, passing it to Tom. Oh, not Ellis. Prey with the rebound, passing it from Thompson to Ellis. You know, eventually they find a point. Maybe 2 if she can capitalize on this free throw. Tim, what are your opinions on free throws? In high school, they're important, but what about any other level of basketball? How do you think free throws impact the game?
Free throws could be the decider in whether a team at any level wins the game. They have to capitalize on them free opportunities, those uncontested shots where the crowd is silent.
Exactly.
They have to capitalize on those.
You know, they call them free for a reason, Tim. We do see physical Davidson defense again. A reach-in foul. Now, that one was actually from Ellis. You got to make sure this time, Tim. I think already we see the officials not being lenient on reach-ins and pushes, especially on 8 seconds. I mean, 8 seconds is kind of blatant, you know. It's 8 seconds in the backcourt, but we kind of see them playing good basketball. Oh, rebound by Hars. Another missed layup.
That's not common from this McGill team. With the emphasis that they put on their inside scoring, you think those layups will come pretty easy.
100%. You know, I agree with you on about 99% of the stuff, Tim. And once again, you are correct. High school layups are the most important part of the game. 3-pointers come and go. We don't have a Steph Curry coming out here shooting all night. But it's not uncommon to see a team focus straight on layups. Hars with a layup as we get this. You know, Tim, we should just predict the future, don't we?
I think we do.
Layup after layup.
Maybe we should write a book.
A future book on basketball. How to correctly predict Brock.
That was a great cut to the lane and a nice inside pass. She missed the free throw, but she created a shot for one of her teammates.
And you could already tell this McGill team has a good passing vision all across the court.
We see a timeout by the Warriors to prevent that
5
that
seconds.
foul.
5-second violation.
With a little over 5.5 minutes left, the score is currently Davidson 3, McGill 4.
Is this anything else than you would expect, Tim? Is this what you expected the game to be like?
I'm going to expect it to be close throughout. You know, this is going to be a highly contested game, and I think it's going to go deep into the fourth quarter.
Like the Faith game did, or like, you know,
more similar to the Faith game.
Do you think that, unlike the Faith game, do you think a team's going to pull ahead and then other team's going to come back like the Faith game we saw in the second and third quarters, actually, for Davidson?
I think the team with the least fouls is definitely going to be the team that's ahead because both of these teams seem to be very good at free throws, and if you give each other opportunities to make free throws, they're going to capitalize.
100%, and great triple team from McGill. You know, you don't want to let the open shooter have the ball, and that's what they did, stopping Crystal Ellis from passing it to either Thompson or Thomas. And not getting the names confused, they were both open on the 3-line, so it was a good pass to either of them.
One shooter we haven't seen from the Warriors a lot this year because of injury is Crystal Hawthorne. You may not know, but I think she has one of the best jump shots in high school basketball.
You know, Tim, unfortunately, I didn't get to witness much of high school basketball, especially from the Davidson end last year. And, you know, watching her in warm-ups, we do see her. She was making a lot of three-pointers and making a lot of shots in general. So I'm going to have to take her word for it.
I think she's just a natural scorer and a floor general. As McGill gets a wide-open shot, misses, gets the offensive rebound, puts it back up, and there's a foul.
That's a good foul. Oh, not a good foul on the Davidson side, but, you know, we see Mixon going up there trying to draw the foul, really putting her body into Thompson's body and taking these potential free 2 points. This is the first one that you got to capitalize on these, Tim.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I don't think that one's her fault.
Well, whose
Oh,
fault?
that one was.
Thompson pull out the flashy dribble moves and getting the assist.
That's easy points for Prayer. She could do that all night.
No, I think last week you talked about Prayer being that gym rat, working hard in the gym, just making sure she gets her shot refined to make everything she can.
Definitely, and it clearly shows on the court. That's great. That's great on-ball defense by Hawthorne.
You know, we did see a little timidness here from Battle. I mean, I don't know if she's comfortable with a three-point shot, but that was definitely in the range of a three. Hawthorne off, but not far enough. That's over the back on Prayer. We've seen Prayer a lot tonight, which is it's not surprising whatsoever.
Not at all. She's going to be very physical all night.
Do you think this is Davidson's best starting five or best five?
I think it is. I think this is Davidson's most complete five, most mature five, who with basketball experience. I think this team could go a long way with these five on the floor.
You think this team has a state championship with these five on the floor, Tim?
I don't think I'm bold enough to make those kind of predictions.
You know, not a bad shot from Thomas there. She was open.
That's definitely in her range.
Over the back on Hars again. Another over the back. That's an uncommon in high school basketball. It's not an inexperienced thing, but it's trying to be physical. You know, with more experience, you'll understand that, hey, I can't jump right here, or the ref's going to call me for it.
Davidson's definitely got to do a better job boxing out, because that's why they keep getting these over the back fouls, because they're getting boxed out. I mean, they're obviously taller than the people that are below them, but the people below them have the better position.
An excellent double team from the Sioux seniors.
Oh, what a fantastic block.
You know, Thompson makes her way into every single play from the double team from the seniors, Hawthorne and Thomas, to the pickup by Hars on the small forward, back to Thompson blocking the center going for the layup. I think that was just excellent defense from the Davidson Warriors all around.
You know, we compared it to LeBron James as a floor general. You know, that block was kind of LeBron-esque.
Absolutely. You know, the
So
way
was that
she
turnover.
dribbles and the way she moves around the court, another block from Hawthorne, another block from Thomas. These seniors are not giving up on the defensive side of the ball. You know, they're not really scoring on offense, but on defense, they're performing excellent. But to go back to Thompson over here, Tim, the way she puts the ball on the floor, if she were to get her shot right and she would be able to shoot, well, obviously this player who's above consistently, but she kind of reminds me of a Kevin Durant, Tim. The way she puts the ball on the floor and the way her body is built, the way she moves past defenders, it's not like LeBron. Well, I mean, no one's like LeBron. But she just kind of reminds me of the way she moves of Kevin Durant. Kind of slithers on the court, you know, because he's a yeah.
A little over 3 minutes left. The score is 5, Davidson, McGill 4. You know, this game's still pretty tight as the first quarter kind of comes to an end.
You know, I think this is already a good moment for Davidson. This Davidson was obviously proud. They just beat Faith. Tim, do you know who they played earlier this week? Sorry for my ignorance. Didn't they play like LaFleur or something?
Yeah, they played LaFleur.
They beat LaFleur.
Yep.
And, you know, coming off these win streaks is an excellent no-look pass from Thompson to Prayer. A block.
Block in the corner. It's going to be out on Prayer. That's still a good physical play from Prayer.
Mm-hmm.
As we see Davidson coming out in this full-court press.
Oh, and we do see the number 1 for McGill being the 8th grader, Lindsey Cox. It's kind of interesting to see her play, too. She's kind of the opposite of Kelsey Thompson. She's not that body build, and she's going against Kyla Thomas. You know, very similar names, Kelsey Thompson and Kyla Thomas.
I haven't seen much of Cox, but if she can dribble, she might be a perfect matchup. You see the ball handling from Cox. That's a nice steal. Easy.
That's kind of a demoralizing miss, to be honest with you.
That's a demoralizing possession for the Warriors. They have to capitalize off those easy points. They can't miss layups like that.
I mean, getting a great steal, and obviously a girl that's well-versed with the ball. I mean, she messed up 2 defenders, beating Kyla Thomas and Hawthorne, Crystal Hawthorne. It's, you know, I don't know if it was a lucky steal, but kind of dribbling into Kelsey's body a little bit. Gave her the steal and unable to finish a layup, Tim. That was as wide open as it gets.
She couldn't have prayed for a better shot right there.
So I'll take those shots all day. We usually kind of juggle from Spencer here, another freshman. Put back.
That's a great putback. You know, she didn't even need to come on the ground for that one.
that counts as a
right back
rebound
up.
and a point there, Tim. Taking the ball up slow, knowing this Davidson team needs this fast-paced offense to get their steals. Out on, is it McGill? It's hard to say. This is the jumble of girls down there. I don't really understand what's going on. Out on Davidson. Looks like she couldn't get there in time.
Cox in the corner with the little hesitation move.
That was definitely a travel. You know, obviously we had a closer shot here on the broadcast, and as we can watch it too, she definitely had her feet moving, Tim. That's a shooting foul. Or a travel. So they called on this side of the court about the other, Tim. That's
Maybe the referees are just lagging a little bit. I don't know.
They're
They have bad connection.
Delay.
A little delayed.
I mean, you can't fault her for the pass, but Fields really gets in the passing lanes.
She definitely moves really well.
You know, being one of the bigger girls on the women's basketball team, size-wise, body build-wise, Tim, not the one you were trying to compare to last week. You know, being taller and more athletically built, as a sophomore, if she keeps working, maybe in the weight room. Well, you know, the weight room helps wonders in basketball. Strength is one of the most underrated things in basketball. If she hits the weight room and gets just, I don't know, muscular, she would absolutely body people, Tim. There's no way you can stop her.
I don't know. I'm kind of looking right now. She has some big calves.
Oh, Tim, that's weight room. Or that's about your running, conditioning, and stuff.
You know, last broadcast we kind of mentioned me witnessing her work in the offseason. But not only did I see her in the gym, I saw her on the hill at the front of the school running. Summer days. I'm talking about 108 degrees running in sweatpants.
That's dedication, Tim. That's about as deep as it gets. That's something. And obviously it's come out to benefit her because I don't know about last year, but she seems kind of fast for me.
Yeah.
Especially for her body build, the taller, not lanky body build. She's fast. She's agile. It's kind of like the other girl we saw, a smaller version of the other girl we saw. I can't remember her name off the top of my head. The center for Faith.
Yeah.
You know, she came out and surprised everyone. She moved fast. I talked to Kyla Thomas after the game, and she said that she was keeping up with her and Ellis and Thompson all game, and she didn't come out the game once.
That's hard to do.
You know, do you think this is another game we don't see Thomas come out? I wouldn't be surprised, but already it's looking like Thomas is here to win. So
definitely, I can definitely see this Davidson team making it deep into the playoffs.
So with 21 seconds left, scores 9-7. Davidson Warriors are winning. You know, McGill's already in the bonus. So if Davidson fouls, out of bounds on Davidson. So if Davidson fouls, McGill's going to get free throws on the line no matter what the foul is. And bounding the ball. That's a little behind the back. We think this team has great ball handling skills. They really got the best of the best.
That's a nice inside pass. Unable to finish on the inside, though. And that's a freshman mistake, you know.
This Davidson team's offensive possession has been horrible the past couple of times. They can't get the ball out of their own half. Might as well in near the goal.
They're going to need to vastly improve on that for this game to keep going how it's going. You know, they have a 1-point lead right now. First quarter's about to be over.
Cox with the half-court lob for the first quarter of the game. First quarter of the game is over. 9-8. Davidson Warriors lead. Tim, I'm just gonna ask you, what do you think is going on for both sides of the ball on Davidson and McGill?
For McGill, they're getting strong possessions, but they need to convert more possessions into points. You know, they've had a lot of empty possessions this half. Davidson needs to have more consistent possession. You know, there's certain stretches in the game where they get decent possessions, decent shots, you know, and they sink them or they get fouled. But there's a lot of possessions this half where they just didn't get the ball past half court or turned it over right at they got to half court. They have to eliminate possessions like that for the game to go more like how it did versus Faith.
You know, Tim, what do you think Coach Barry is saying to her girls right now? The
I
McGill coaches obviously coached her very well, and what do you think that's going on their sideline right now?
I think she's telling them they're playing great defense. They need to keep playing with the same intensity as they have this first half, but they need to convert more inside shots.
They need to sink those shots, Tim. I agree. You know, we see the Davidson, the same five that was just out there. A little different from the McGill Toolen side.
I think the five that are on the floor may be part of Davidson's Fab Five.
It has to be. This is the same five we saw earlier, except the exception of Hars. Oh, we do see a new player. My bad. Prayers out there for Hars, which is it's
Just as effective.
just as important. Yep, absolutely.
She lacks in the height department, but she makes up for it in the physicality and athleticism department. You know,
You know, Hars, her body though, she can't really be physical, because if she is, then she's gonna get a lot of fouls called on her, which is fine. That's the game of basketball. College for the three.
she knocks it down from the corner, giving McGill a nice 2-point lead.
You know, that's that freshman. We've already seen her come make an impact on the game. It's harder to guard her than it was the other point guard. It was good by Coach Barry to put her in the game.
They're definitely not allowing Davidson to get these perimeter shots. We see the steal from Nia Robinson.
Foul from what looks like Thompson. She's going for that LeBron chase down block again.
Excuse me, Nia Valentine.
Wow, Tim.
Hey man, this is hard.
She's Valentine on the line. Misses the first one. We have not seen McGill convert on free throws, and that is what's killing them tonight. They need to convert on every free throw they can get.
And I think that's why this game is as close as it is. You know, with them already being in the bonus, they should have a considerable lead on the Warriors, considering how many times they've been to the free throw line.
You know, if they convert all of their free throw opportunities, they would definitely be up by 10 by now.
They call it travel on Crystal Hawthorne. You know, that might just be a product of her missing games, you know, missing game time. It's always hard to get back into the groove of things.
Maybe, but it looks like these referees are not giving Davidson anything. You can obviously see the frustration. Either just take Hawthorne out the game. Couple mistakes from the senior point guard or shooting guard. You know, they do like to switch the two. Hawthorne and Thomas do switch roles sometimes. And we see a couple mistakes here and there, so they put in the freshman Spencer for her. It's not a bad swap, I would say, at this moment in time. Spencer's not playing bad, and Hawthorne was playing with mistakes. Not bad by any means, but with a couple mistakes here and there, leads to some bad play. Good crossover from Cox. Even better pass. A little high. I mean, that was the point of the pass, or a lob, but
I think they counted that 3-pointer as a 2-pointer earlier, which caused me to misspeak. So now McGill has a 3-point lead on the Warriors.
that's interesting. I definitely thought that was a three-pointer.
That's not bad shot selection from the Warriors. That 3-pointer right there, it wasn't heavily contested. The inside shot goes in and one.
You know, we do see Thompson really likes the inside as she takes another inside layup and converts the and one. Hopefully makes it the free throw, makes it a 3-point play.
And that'll tie the game up for the Warriors as it's 11-12 with a little over 6 minutes left in the second quarter.
Although, interesting fact, they actually out Thomas for a little bit, and they just put her back in. I didn't even notice, Tim.
And that says a lot about this team's ability to function without one player on the court. This team isn't defined by one player. As much as it may seem, they really get the job done. When a leader needs a break, they have the discipline and the numbers to, you know, be effective without that person on the floor.
Exactly. You know, there's Thomas again. As soon as we said leader,
As we see a steal from behind, her teammates have got to do a better job coming down the floor, help her out right there.
Yeah, she was obviously looking for a teammate to pass it to, and she didn't get anybody.
McGill jumps back out to that 3-point lead.
That was a lazy pass, Tim. I mean, I don't know what to say. I think Thompson's mad at something, but she's not playing. That's just lazy passing.
As we see her step out of bounds, we have a great angle right here from where we're sitting, and she clearly stepped out of bounds.
She was trying to walk that tightrope, Colby Blunt style, but just stepped out of bounds. But, you know, we do see that pressure mentality coming out from Thompson right now. She's just trying to lob the ball to people. It's just not going to work, especially against this fast McGill team.
Their passes have to be a little bit harder, you know, to break the defense, you know, because the ball has to move around a little bit faster than they can move for this offense to be effective versus this 2-3 defense.
You know, Tim, I don't know what's happening right now, but that was out of bounds on McGill, but that was a blatant kickball violation if I've ever seen one. She backheeled the ball with her foot, that's obviously a kicked ball. And the referee's standing 2 feet away from it. I don't know why he didn't call it, but
they call it travel right there.
I'm not saying this game is because of the rest, but I'm saying the referees are definitely helping out McGill or Toolen right now. We had a missed travel call earlier, and a missed kickball violation that still ended up in Davidson's possession. But unfortunately for the Warriors, they're not getting any calls. They're going to have to make their own calls at this point. They're going to have to score the basketball when they can. They're trying to play good basketball.
Coach Ship might have to start sporting his own whistle over there on the sideline.
That's definitely, they might call a charge.
That is definitely a blocking foul.
It is a blocking foul. You know, she kind of had her feet set. That's that McGill Toolen coaching right there. I mean, when I think of charging fouls, I definitely don't think it's right there as soon as they inbound the ball. That's something, Tim. Thompson bringing the ball to the court. Come from Thomas, and she chooses not to pass it. Thomas open for the three.
We see another turnover by the Warriors get the ball back. She has an easy layup. She goes up.
That's a travel.
She makes the shot, but it's negated by a traveling call.
You know, I agree with that call. That was a travel. She definitely took 5 steps to stop there. I mean, she's not James Harden. She gets called for travels. You know, with 4.5 minutes left to go in the second quarter, it's 11-14. McGill Toolen Yellow Jackets are on top. You know, this isn't really surprising. I definitely thought this was going to be a good game. It is. It definitely is. But it's not surprising to see McGill have a 3-point lead in this middle portion of the game. See a couple missed fouls from Davidson's point of view. Maybe even a couple missed fouls from McGill's point of view. I haven't really been looking at it. I just looked over at the ball because we're sitting right here, and I saw, you know, she Lionel Messi'd it. They didn't call it. But, you know, I'm no referee, so.
I don't know, Gainey. They might be able to throw you out there.
Excellent steal from Prayer.
See, Thompson bringing the ball up the floor. That's a nice dribble move. They did a good job working the ball to the open shooter right there. You know, Thompson attracting attention inside and then swinging it to Thomas, who swung it to Williams in the corner.
You know, I'm not one to shift blame on a player, but.
Excuse me, Spencer.
I'm not one to shift blame on a certain player, but this game, I think, the reason why it's not close, or why it's not a high lead for the Davidson Warriors, it might be because of Kelsey Thompson. She's going to play athletic and physical, but I think she's more on the lines of she wants to hold the ball for herself or just try to dish it to another freshman or something. She's not doing a very good job hitting the open man in the corner. Davidson Warriors are definitely making mistakes here.
And Coach Ship is not happy about that call.
Would you be, Tim?
I don't think I would be either.
You know, in a close game against an out-of-region opponent, but definitely rivals on the football, baseball field, and basketball court, Davidson and McGill do not like each other one bit, do they, Tim?
I don't think they like each other that much. You know, That's to be expected of most Mobile schools in Mobile. You know, everybody wants to be the best here.
That's a little fun information for you guys. McGill Toolen's baseball and football field are located less than what, a tenth of a mile away from Davidson's campus.
Definitely.
And McGill's baseball field and Davidson's baseball field are pretty much touching each other.
You know, there's a long story that goes back to how all that came to be, which we don't have time to tell on this broadcast. But, you know, it's definitely worth asking someone who would know.
The McGill-Davidson rivalry is probably one of the most interesting ones in the county.
Next to the Murphy-McGill rivalry, even though it isn't much of one today, mostly dominated by McGill, you know, it's still fun to hear and see about the painting of the cannon.
Oh, yes, the painting of the cannon, Tim.
Let's see a nice move from Cox.
A freshman breaking freshman there as you, I don't know if it was inexperience or what.
You know, what Thompson can't do is allow the crowd reaction to get to her, you know. It may be hard because, you know, in football, I mean, every play is a new play. But in basketball, one play is a continuation of another, in a sense.
So in football, let's say you throw an interception or something, you know, you're really not going to be able to hear what the crowd says. You have those helmet on, and, you know you're mad at yourself already.
Right.
And, you know, you're going to get chewed out by Coach Smith on the sideline, but, you know, all in all, you just have to go back out there for one more play.
Right. Davidson football, you know, the coaches here do a great job of helping kids bounce back from mistakes. You know, they don't harp on them too long. And I feel like everywhere might be like that.
Davidson's baseball program definitely does a good job of trying to teach you how to move on from a mistake. Baseball, like basketball, is one of those games that on the defensive portion of the game, if you make a mistake, guess what? There's always a next play. You know, from the hitting portion of the game, it's like football. You strike out looking or something, you got to go back to the dugout, sit down for a second, you know, cool you off, and, you know, think about what's going to happen the next play. But basketball is it's a different breed of sport, to be honest with you. You got to perform for, what, 48 minutes straight? Or
right.
Not 24 minutes straight. Pardon me.
As we see another turnover by Davidson. See McGill in transition.
Prayer definitely showing that speed off. She rushed out of the court. Thompson makes the bucket in the trash can, but not in the actual goal, which is unfortunate.
Well, that's a nasty basketball.
Hopefully the trash cans haven't been used too much.
So see the Warriors come out in a little bit of a full court press.
We do know the Warriors like that formation. Excellent pass. Excellent defense on Thompson. Defensively, she's been amazing, but offensively, I was about to say something. She did the exact opposite of what I was going to say she's been doing all night.
You know, early in this game, we saw some lazy passes, some lazy shots. Oh, that one came right at us.
We do see some action down here on the sideline, don't we, Tim?
Yeah, I don't think we're very protected down here.
You
They
know,
might have to put us behind the scorers table next year.
protect her, Tim. If she came crashing us, it'd be like a WWE match of tables, ladders, and chairs, because she's going through this table. Another missed layup from McGill. That's just, at this point, both offenses are not working to their full potential because of the two defensive. These are two defensive teams. They're fast. They know their stuff, and they're definitely coached pretty well.
I think the story of this game is going to be which team is more conditioned.
Hawthorne for three.
That's still off.
Close off, though. I mean, you know, even with a close miss, it's still not. An open look is an open look.
That's still a confidence builder, you know. The closer you get to sinking the shot, you know, the more your confidence rises. And then once you hit the first one, the basket seems to get bigger from there.
Exactly, you know.
So we see a shooting foul on Crystal Hawthorne.
No, she definitely does not agree with that foul. The freshman sinks the first one. You know, we have seen Cox come into the game and perform already to more than what I thought she was going to do. I went from not knowing her to seeing this game as a preview game of her, and she's definitely good. Hawthorne with the ball with a full court heave to Prayer. Works out apparently.
Mars picks it up. They call a charge.
That call was questionable yet again. I mean, Har stopped. She stopped for the pull-up layup, and the girl just flopped. That was one of those LeBron James charges too. That's what that was.
I mean, what do you expect from a person as undersized as she is? If you got somebody that big coming at you, you don't want to take all of that contact.
Oh, 100%. I'm not saying by any means that was a bad defensive play from McGill. That was perfect. Exactly what she should have done. I'm just saying that might not have been I mean, I have a bad angle on it. We have a bad angle on it.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure if that was 100% a charge. I'm not saying it was a blocking foul. Maybe not even a shooting foul, but I definitely don't think it was a charge. With 50 seconds left to go in the first half, it is 14-18 McGill Yellow Jackets. We do see a close game, Tim.
We have a lot of fouls in this game, which has allowed this game to drag on as long as it has. As we see a turnover by the Warriors. Fouls usually tell the story of a high school basketball game. The team that fouls the least and makes the most shots usually wins.
Yeah, Tim, the team that does make the most shots usually does put the most points, and they usually do win.
You see a half-court heave by Thomas. We haven't seen many points by Thomas tonight.
But she's definitely been her part of the game's definitely been there. She's definitely been getting steals all night, performing excellent, especially on the fast break. We go into the second half. McGill Toolen 18, Davidson 14. Welcome back to the second half of Davidson Warriors basketball. I'm JD Gainey here with Tim Johnson. Tim, can you give us a little recap on the first half of this Lady Warriors team?
Well, the first half, this Lady Warriors team didn't capitalize on many offensive possessions. They got the ball past half court in stretches. There were a couple of possessions where they did, and then there were a lot of possessions where they just simply didn't. There was great defense by McGill throughout the first half. Offensively for McGill, they converted a good portion of their inside shots, a couple of mid-range shots, but not really outside shots. I think both teams are going to have to play better on the inside and control the ball longer for this game to really bust wide open as we expected it to.
This McGill team is definitely showing some spirit tonight. And talk about Davidson's team. We've seen some laziness coming out from the freshmen. Not laziness, just some. It's not giving up, but it's kind of emotion. They're playing way too emotional tonight.
Yeah, I think the first half really emotionally drained these young players. That's something you kind of grow out of. Playing so emotional in the beginning of games is what tires you out at the end.
To being in a important position on the football team quarterback, were you at this point of emotional distress in your high school career, or was it just
early my junior year when I first really started getting playing time, I would be so nervous that by the end of the game at night, I'd go straight home and go to sleep, But as I calmed down and the game slowed down for me, I started playing a little bit less emotional. And, after games, I was able to, stay up and watch college football over that I missed. Or, I was a lot calmer when I went home at night. I wasn't so drained from the game.
Do you use the same thing with these girls, or?
I think it's most of the same thing. There's obviously a little bit more running going on in basketball, which can tire you out. But, these girls train very hard during the off season. So I think they're more conditioned. So I don't think if they're mature and they don't play emotionally fueled that they're drained after a game.
Tim, that's an excellent point. We have seen a couple things go on for this Davidson Warriors team. It's just been back-to-back turnovers for both teams. And not really anything of noteworthiness, but
I think what's going to be key for this Davidson team is driving inside and kicking to find open shooters. Because this team has a plethora of shooters on the floor, from Kyla Thomas to Kelsey Thompson to Crystal Hawthorne. You know, this team can shoot the ball, but they need to drive the ball inside. You know, contract this defense into converging on them and kick the ball back out.
Oh, timeout from Coach Barry. Good timeout. And yes, Tim, they ain't trying to find the open man, and if they have an open shot, I mean, even if it's a foot behind the line, take it. I mean, a foot's not a foot. I mean, that's fine. A foot is a foot. And it's not that big of a difference in high school basketball. See a couple timeouts being called. The score is still 14-18 McGill with 6.5 minutes to go in the third quarter.
You know, we see the young star for this McGill team, Cox, not on the floor. Their offense has definitely slowed down since she hasn't been on the floor.
It's not been as explosive as you wanted it to be. But that's just how she has those Allen Iverson kind of dribble moves. She's fast, low to the ground, kind of crossovers and behind the back. So it really make the defender miss. And it's kind of exciting to watch.
Definitely, it really draws your attention, and you know that opens up shots for her teammates, and that's really what it's about when you're a young player on a good team. It's about creating opportunities for your teammates. As we see, Hawthorne, you know, almost saving the ball right there, creating opportunities for her teammates. You know, that's what it's about. That's what you need to do to be successful.
Exactly. And, you see Hawthorne step out of bounds after getting a hustle steal. And we just see Cox checking into the game, and this might be a game changer for the McGill Toolen. Good inbound pass. That's an open three-pointer from the corner. Just off. You know, open looks are open looks, Tim.
You can't fault a player for taking an open look. You know, it's high school basketball. You know, everybody's playing mostly for a reason.
Even at the pickup level of basketball, if you take an open look and miss it, no one's going to get mad at you.
Because it's an open look.
I mean, maybe if you're 0-20, but apparently someone thinks they're Drew Brees, but no, it didn't really work out. Excellent pass. You just cannot convert the layup.
That was a good defensive play by Kelsey Thompson. As she throws up a
Wow.
contested shot. Hars gets the rebound, throws up a contested shot. She misses. They
Wow.
eventually get the foul.
That was awful, awful basketball from the freshman. She obviously saw Kyla Thomas open up the three-point line. They probably locked eyes on each other.
She needs to kick that ball out. She needs to kick that ball out and get the shooter the open shot. She's uncontested. You know, every shot she's taken tonight has been contested because they know she can shoot. And when the defense makes mistakes and leaves shooters like that open, they have to capitalize.
Like, I understand the three-pointer is not for Hawthorne. As I say that, I mean, Steph Curry comes out of the court, but, you know, I understand the three-point's not falling, but come on now. Hit your open girl in the corner.
Hawthorne can shoot the basketball. If you can get her in a groove, she'll shoot the lights out of the gym. She'll shoot the net off the basket. You just have to get her shots. As we see McGill convert that mid-range jumper opportunity. The score is now 17-20. Little three-point lead for McGill.
Another kickball violation, but that might have been a little questionable. Excellent posting from Hars. Little drop step from her. Nothing you see every day on a high school level, especially from women's basketball.
You know, Hars reminds me kind of a Kristen Stewart on this team. You know, a solid force on the inside that can get you points when you really need it.
Not a bad pass, a little off, but it definitely had the zip on it to make the pass.
It's a nice physical play by Hars, you know. She's not allowing them to get anything easy.
And ironically, battle with the jump ball, and she was fighting for that. She was battling for that ball. What did you say, Tim?
Oh, my God.
I don't understand why they rely on a freshman to take up the court every possession. I mean, that doesn't be me, but I would rather have my senior guards take up the court. Maybe it's get them open, but prayer from three. Oh, that's Fields. Fields from three.
A little long on that corner three-point attempt. They get the ball to Cox. She hesitates, but she steps out of bounds and turns the ball back over to the Warriors.
You know, I'm surprised that the left sideline judge has been really not biased, but she's been really calling out everything on Davidson tonight. And look, contested.
You know, that shot almost went in. That's not a bad shot for her.
You know, I don't fault Kyla Thomas for taking that shot. That was not a bad shot, especially with her against Faith. Hits her with a little elbow, but
It's a nice rebound by Prayer.
Cox kind of reminds me of Steve Nash in a way. She's like, I don't know what that was, but that was
Not great shot selection, you know. She kind of got her head down when she went in there, expecting to get hit. She didn't really get hit. I think she was really going for the foul right there.
nice pass. Takes a double contested three.
I don't know, man. You sound a little disappointed with the shot selection.
Absolutely. I am extremely disappointed with the shot selection.
We haven't seen this kind of play from Thompson this year so far, but this game, I don't know what's going on, but you know, it has to get worked out quick, or else this team's gonna continue to trail in this game.
The freshmen are coming out this game. Every single freshman has been performing like you would expect a freshman to. And maybe, you know, maybe I'm disappointed because as a whole, the Davidson Warriors put too much hype on these freshmen, especially Kelsey Thompson. You know, we were comparing her to Kevin Durant, but right now it's looking like I don't even know how to describe it. It's just poor shot selection after poor shot selection. No court vision whatsoever. Not looking for the open girl at all. I mean, that's just her play style. I mean, everyone knows she's a shoot first forward, small forward, right?
Right.
Yeah, small forward. Shoot first, small forward, but if you're like 1 for 12 and constantly taking these awful three-pointer attempts,
You have to start getting the ball to your teammates.
exactly. Especially if you have a senior like Hawthorne coming back, Thompson with a three, foul.
She draws the foul.
I think, you know, we see Thompson shoot a lot of contested shots, but I can tell you why Thompson shoots a lot of Thomas shoots a lot of contested shots. Trust me, she doesn't shoot going forward every possession. This is trying to get the 3 free throws. She misses one, but I'd rather her have on the free throw line for 3 free throws than have an open three-point attempt. When she missed the second one, I mean, might have to bite my words on that one, but it's not bad basketball from Thomas whatsoever. Try to take that contested three, try to get the arm movement, the arm bump. But Thomas just shoots the three over somebody. It's just, if it falls, it falls. I understand. But they haven't been falling, Tim.
She misses all 3 free throws right there. You know, that was a really important sequence for the Warriors. They needed those free throws. That's a good block right there from Thompson. You know, she's really been picking up her defensive weight that she's been, you know, not carrying on the offensive side of the ball. We've seen a plethora of blocks from her tonight.
You like that word plethora, don't you, Tim?
Yeah, man, that's a nice word, plethora.
That's one of those HD vocabulary words.
Oh, yeah.
Make that 36. Cox for 3. Not a bad look, and definitely not a bad shot contest from Hawthorne.
That's a nice rebound by Fields. You know, she's really had a nice impact tonight, making quality shots. You know, getting quality possessions inside for the Warriors. You know, I don't see that was a bad shot. You know, when you have the ability to make shots like that, we definitely saw the potential for that shot to go in.
That shot didn't make me mad at all. That shot was not disappointing to me whatsoever. That was a good post move, good post spin. But the fact that there was open girls on the triple line, that's not the point. Is the fact that she keeps trying to push the ball up for herself. She keeps trying these left and three-point attempts that, you know, I'm happy if they go in. If they go in, that's points. But they haven't went in. I feel like Steven.
Oh wow. That's it's tragic. She gets her shot blocked, you know.
Sure.
She gives her that face like, really, man.
That was
I just broke girl down, and you're not gonna give me that foul.
Was it Hawthorne or Thomas that she broke?
She broke Thomas.
Thomas. That's unfortunate.
You know, a little bit of backstory about myself. I actually played, you know, a little bit of basketball when I was younger, and on one of my youth teams, it was kind of, you know, one of those leagues where both sexes can play in the same sport. Nia Valentine was actually on my team.
And what was the? She was just on your team?
Yeah, she was very short.
Okay.
She was very short, but it's okay.
I mean, apparently she's not short tonight. She does play great basketball, and we do see Fields making Prayer making the free throw, or not free, the layup. It's been a rough night for me, guys. Yeah, I feel like Stephen A. Smith. But
yeah, Hunter Henry performing great all year. See the nice crossover by Hawthorne. She throws it down low to Harris. Harris turns it over. You know, they've got to get more movement on the offensive side of the ball for the people that are not on the ball.
it should still be Davidson ball, if I'm not mistaken. Coachship is not happy about anything right now. It's understandable, but I'm not one to call out players, and especially talk about when they're performing bad. I mean, obviously we've been talking about how they're performing bad.
Right.
But, I'm not gonna keep harping on it, but I'm surprised you haven't seen Thompson be taking.
It looks like Hawthorne came down a little awkward on that play.
Prediction against him. As I was saying, Thompson, I'm surprised she hasn't been taking out the game yet. She gets taken out the game as soon as I start mentioning it.
Do you want me to get you a pen and pad now so you can start writing this book? Because, I mean, I don't know.
Tim, I'm not like the Magic 8 Ball, Tim. That's just what it is. It's just.
Oh, wow.
That was good defense from McGill. A decent pass. Excellent steal.
She might be able to walk on and play corner for this McGill Toolen team. See that nice pass interception.
Oh, yeah, Tim. You know about those McGill Toolen cornerbacks, don't you, bud?
Yeah.
Yeah, if you say she can walk on, I believe you. An excellent steal. That might have been
a foul.
Yeah, that was. These referees are not calling anything.
They started off the game really tough on the players, but as we see the third quarter come to an end with a score of 21-26 with McGill having the lead, these refs have really backed off of making the calls that they should.
They definitely seem more lenient. Especially since, there's been a lot more physical plays this game that I just can't believe it. It's just been a lot more physicality than we saw against Faith. And it's just overall been an excellent game for both sides of the ball.
I agree with you right there. Both teams have been playing fairly physical. It's just like I said, the score is only 26-21. Usually we're used to seeing Davidson and their opponents in the 30s by this point in the game. But this game's been relatively low scoring with a lot of turnovers.
Yeah, Tim, turnovers are a bad part of this game. Especially for the Davidson Warriors. We get to the point in the game where Davidson's got to stage not even a comeback. 4 points is 4 points. But with this low of a scoring game, they got to produce points.
One thing that I really noticed about this half of basketball, first half, there were about 17 fouls, I'd say, total for both teams added together. This half, there have only been 3. That says a lot to how much the game is, progressed. This third quarter went by really fast, and that's from, both teams not fouling, great defensive possessions. As you see, Nia Valentine hit the open 3.
And Tim, that's a great observation about the fouls, and that's why you're the analyst here, Tim. Thompson to Thomas. The layup, that's a good layup. Even if she misses it, it's a good layup.
Yeah, That's a good shot.
You know these girls are gonna be hurt tomorrow morning, Tim. They're gonna be sore. They're gonna get in the ice bath tonight.
Hey, there's a good thing. It's Christmas break, and we want to remind everybody to have a happy holidays this Christmas.
And have a safe one too. Don't go out and do anything stupid and get yourself hurt. Kickball. Now they call it.
Man, that referee sure does need to check his phone because it's like it's going off in his pocket. He's missing a whole bunch of calls.
At one point I was questioning to myself whether kickball was still a thing in high school. It was getting this bad. I mean, that was blatant. If they didn't call that one, I had no hope for these referees whatsoever.
Yeah, I might have to introduce him to my eye doctor. As we see another 3 by Nia Valentine. And from what I'm seeing right now, this game is busted wide open.
It's not even the fact that this team is playing better than Davidson. I mean, they are playing better than Davidson. They want it more. But it's not the fact that Davidson's playing bad. It's Kelsey Thompson not passing the ball. But it's just they're capitalizing on those 3-pointers. What?
That was nice.
Okay,
That's something we need to see more often from her.
Once again, I said if it goes in, it goes in.
Oh my gosh. Oh, yep. And now we see the Brandon Knight.
The Brandon Knight? We see the Brandon Knight. I'm sorry, Tim. You caught me off guard with that one. That was funny.
The Warriors have to convert these open layups. There have been numerous occasions during this game where Davidson.
Of open layups.
And I was trying not to use the word again because you made fun of me last time I used it.
No.
Oh my God! Look at the speed. That's a nice recovery from the freshman.
And by the way, a little backstory for the Brandon Knight comment. I want to share some light on this. I'm not sure everyone understands it. Was it a playoff game, Tim, or was it a regular season game?
I think it was a regular season game. Knights versus Bucks. Kings versus Bucks. And Brandon Knight got a steal. Time running out. Time about to expire. The game-winning free throw. The game-winning layup. Excuse me. And he blows it.
He misses it. Yeah.
He misses it by itself.
And it looked exactly like that was literally the exact way it looked. And that's why it was so funny to me. But that is an excellent depiction of how that worked out. We just see Davidson falling apart at the seams, Tim.
Usually this team is pretty, free throw sound. They don't miss a lot, but they've missed a lot of free throws this game.
Tim, this kind of reminds me of the game against Lee Montgomery. There was probably about a minute in that game where we threw 2 interceptions and made like 4 foul defense. Excellent drop step, misses it, gets the rebound again.
As they call it, travel. She was getting a lot of contact down there. I don't think there was much she could do.
Yeah, that's not really one of those. Oh yeah, that was a travel. It was a travel, but that was one of those. You couldn't really falter for that. She was going up for the points again, and it was just good basketball. But Tim, this kind of reminds me of that time. I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. It might not have been Lee Montgomery, but our football team just didn't look as sharp as they did the whole game, and they really let the lead go.
I can shed a little light on that. Kobe Blunt, he had a little bit of a leg injury, and the game didn't really matter towards our playoff spot. So we knew we were going to the playoffs at that point. So we had to rest what we had to give ourselves the best possibility to to perform well in the playoffs. Though we lost in the first round, we had to sit Kobe Blunt for the rest of that game because we had already, at that point, lost our backup running back in Jonathan Whitfield, and we're about to go down another running back when Coach decided to take me out. But when we were on our 3rd running back, at that point he was gonna make me run the ball, but he talked to Coach Smith, and we eventually just decided to eat the game and take it. And I think it proved well for us because I think the next week we came back and played Foley?
Yeah, it was Foley.
And we started off slow in that game with Kobe still coming off that injury, but that game ended up being really big for us, a real big confidence booster, and it gave us a big confidence boost going into that first round playoff game.
Well, this is going to be a confidence booster for McGill Toolen, especially if they hold this W. This would make this Davidson Warriors team 12-3, which is still an amazing record, but it's definitely not 13-2.
This has definitely opened our eyes to who the region challenge is going to be for the Warriors. This is definitely a team they're going to have to get a couple of wins on.
This is an out-of-region team, Tim.
Oh, it is?
It is an out-of-region team. McGill Toolen is an Area 2 team. a Davidson Area 1 team.
You know, I'm not very familiar with this, how basketball classification works.
If I'm not mistaken, I'm pretty sure basketball is somewhere near alongside the lines of baseball classification, like of the areas.
Yeah.
I know baseball's areas are, Davidson's area has Baker, MGM,
Yeah.
Theodore, and Bryant.
And those are all good baseball teams.
Exactly. And they're not that basketball team, so we have to play them in the area. I think we can still come out on top. But the McGill's area it's a hard area. It's like Murphy, and then like Daphne or Fairhope. It's a weird area there.
Yeah.
So we're really looking along the side of the lines of, I believe McGill has a harder area, but I think Davidson might have obviously tonight they don't have the better team, but I think there's just freshman mistakes, laziness, nothing to do with coaching, some senior leadership here and there, but there's some obvious mistakes these teams are making.
And meanwhile, all these mistakes, you know, usually in a game where you see as many mistakes that have taken place tonight, you know, you see a team down by 12 points, you know. Davidson's only down by 6 points, and there's 4 minutes left. And this is high school basketball. You know, 2 3-pointers for the Warriors, and they're back in this game. You know, maybe even one.
Kyla Thomas, you remember with those bank is open, right, Tim?
Yeah, the bank's always open, especially on Friday nights.
The bank is always open.
As we see the freshman Spencer inbounding the ball.
To Thompson, the other freshman.
Prayer takes the inbound pass. Spencer pushes it up the floor. Runs into a trap. Lobs it. See Hawthorne open. Dishes it down to Fields. And that's a nice shot.
Excellent pass.
That's an excellent possession for the Warriors. That's exactly the confidence booster they needed right now.
You know, maybe it wasn't those flashy possession. Maybe it wasn't even the three-pointer they needed. But Hawthorne to Fields.
That's a perfect example of a senior passing up a good shot for a great shot.
Exactly. You know, Tim, that's the perfect explanation of that possession, Tim.
Davidson really needs to stop on this possession. Drives into the middle. He kicks it back out to Cox. You know, something we've seen from this team is a lot of cutting to the basket. As we see a foul called, you know, from where we're sitting, that looked like all ball.
And they called it on, who they calling this on?
Fields.
Fields. That's awful. That's awful, Tim. That's awful. That was all ball. 100% all ball.
And your viewers may not understand, but we're like sitting right.
Yeah, I mean, I know.
Right here.
I know we go to Davidson, Tim. I know we're the Davidson broadcast team, but in all honesty, Tim, that was all ball. And I know I would do this thing for McGill. I respect every sport. You know, I like every sport. I like to compete in every sport. I like to enjoy every sport from a neutral standpoint. But that, like, as a spectator of the sport, a fan of basketball, that was not a foul. A weird move from Kyla. They get the ball back.
Nice steal by Thompson.
That was no way a weird move. That was a good steal from Thompson and a good layup by Thomas. Down by 3 with 3 minutes left to go, Tim.
You know, Gainey, I think we're really getting this Thompson-Thomas thing down.
Oh, the first game it was bad. The first game
was horrible.
it was.
You see Thompson bringing the ball up the floor.
Taking it slow. I like the idea of her taking it slow up the court.
I think Coach Smith really got in her ear at halftime and told her that she needs to step up her game in order for this team to win. And I think that's exactly what she's done. You see that pass? That's great court vision, but Fields has to convert on that possession, you know.
I mean, another good
great steal by Prayer. As Coach Berry calls timeout.
Little confusion.
She needs to calm her team down and tell them that these possessions that they're quickly turning over into points for Davidson, those kind of possessions don't need to take place. You know, they need to really take control of the ball and slow the game down. Try to milk as much time off this clock, you know, to prevent this comeback.
we see a little back and forth between the baseline referee and Thompson. You know, once again, it's saying as I'm a fan of basketball and I enjoy basketball, this is unacceptable from her. You know, you can't. She's been jawing at the referees all night. Hopefully, it doesn't come out to be a technical foul or anything. But this isn't. You know, she hasn't been the star of the show tonight. She's not the LeBron James of high school basketball. This is not the NBA. This is high school 7A women's Alabama basketball. You know, I think she's got to let her emotions just go away. She's got to play physical, play technical without emotion. It's just, you know, emotion's a good thing in sports.
Right.
You know that, Tim, but too much emotion definitely gets you in trouble. Blocking foul? Maybe.
I think so. Even Thompson said, you know, that's on me. That's on me.
It's not a bad call if it's a blocking foul. It is a blocking foul, yeah. See, I'm not going to disagree with every call, but if there's a bad call, you know, I'm going to say something because it's our job, Tim.
It's only right. As we see McGill doing exactly what I said, you know, keeping the ball high, you know, milking this clock, getting long possessions, you know. That's what will really keep this lead where it is, because, you know, Davidson's not guaranteed points every time they come down the floor. And we've seen that throughout this game.
I don't know if there's a shot clock, Tim, or where it's located, but
I might start having to keep track of it on my phone. They've had the ball for a long time.
There might not be one, Tim. I don't know. I would assume so.
I would hope so. It does not. There just not appear to be one.
You know, I heard about that once or twice in high school basketball. There not being a shot clock. Actually, I'm pretty sure there isn't. Isn't college 30 seconds on the shot clock?
I think so.
No, I think there's not one in high school. You know, if there isn't one in high school, I don't think.
That's good information. That means Davidson needs to play
That's
tight
definitely
on-ball
travel.
defense. They called a blocking foul.
They call that a blocking foul? Okay. Well,
She definitely didn't touch her.
that was awful.
She definitely just tripped over her big feet.
That was awful. That was.
That's a nice double team.
That's a travel. Or maybe she didn't move the pivot foot. I'll give it that. I was really looking at the pivot foot, but it looked
Yeah,
to me
but
like.
she slapped Kyla Thomas a couple times.
Yeah, I mean, that's just basketball, though, at that point. You know. But I'm still on that blocking foul. That's a huge foul late in the game. A minute and a half left, down by 3. The Davidson Warriors needed that possession back, and I don't know how you. She just fell. It's like an offensive flop. Might have to try that in your pickup game, Tim. Just fall on the ground. There, blocking foul.
Maybe she's LeBron James we've been
Maybe,
looking for all night.
maybe she's. That's that James Harden. You know, we definitely don't see the fight taking out the Warriors yet.
I think it's a school like this, you know, it's very hard to take the fight out of a team.
Even I watched, commentating, I think, Fairhope game. It got out of proportion at one point, but, you know, you and Cody Blunt and the whole offense have never stopped playing. And, you know, it was refreshing to see an athletic program take that mindset. Because you do see a lot of teams give up.
Yeah, especially with the situations we had to deal with, you know, coming into the season, losing a head coach. You know, weeks before the season started, most teams break down as far as their will to play. But I'm really proud of how that team responded to that challenge. As we see McGill get an open layup off the inbound, and, you know, with there not being a shot clock, if Davidson turns the ball over right here, I think this game is over.
It might be over. But we do know Davidson plays physical defense. That's one thing you can count on from this Davidson girls team. The Davidson boys team, they play good defense too, but it's definitely not as physical as this team. Excellent play from the freshman.
They call a hold.
A reach. It was a reach, Tim, which is
Reach.
an awful call again.
Yeah.
Because I think at that point, if you can flare your arms into the other girl's arms and get a reach a foul, then I think James Harden would be the best player of all time. You talk a lot about James Harden, but I think every girl has been performing like James Harden tonight. So, not the defensive side though, not that.
Now Valentine misses the free throw. Freshman Williams brings it up the court. Passes it back to another freshman. Dishes
Almost
it to
open
Fields.
for 3. Double team. That means someone's open. Awful pass. No, this game there's no one to blame except the Lady Warriors. I mean, McGill beat the Warriors, but I think the Warriors also beat the Warriors tonight.
Yeah, definitely a couple too many turnovers tonight. That's definitely what killed this team.
An intentional foul.
Is that his version of calling a tech or?
It's a flagrant.
You know.
Call it a flagrant. Which, I mean, I don't know high school rules. I don't know high school rules. So
I don't
I'm
know
not
much about basketball signs, so I'm still learning.
It looked like a flagrant. Like that is a sign for a flagrant. But when he put it up, I was kind of in disbelief. Like it didn't look like a flagrant to me.
I don't know. She kind of grabbed her by the arm and the shoulder and slung her.
See, that's what I saw. But I don't think she slung her. I think it was more along the lines of she was trying to run down the court, and the way she had. I mean, it's up to the referee's call. At this point, that flagrant didn't decide this game. It did not decide this game. It was already done. That's a reach. Tim, with 42 seconds left in this game, do you want to have some final comments on what you think happened tonight?
I think Davidson had one too many turnovers tonight.
By the way, the bonus free throws, if you miss the first one, you don't get another one. Tom missed, and that might have been a foul. That might have been a foul. Coach Ship is definitely heated on the sideline. Person's off. We see Coach Barry getting a little. That's what I like about Coach Barry. Her intensity has not lacked the entire game. Valentine makes a second one, making a 7-point lead for McGill Toolen with 30 seconds left in the game. There's definitely open people. Fields for the 2-point, the mid-range. Definitely a great take. And it looks like it's about to be the game. With 4 seconds left, this Davidson Warriors team has been defeated for only the 3rd time this season, Tim. By a great McGill Toolen team.
Yeah, definitely. Very technically sound, great possessions on offense. There wasn't much the Warriors could do.
You're right, you are, Tim. And that concludes today's broadcast of Davidson women's basketball. Come out and watch us in about, 20 minutes, Tim?
Yeah, about 20 minutes.
For the Davidson men's team taking on the McGill Toolen's Yellow Jackets.